Hello everybody, welcome to GT Planet and welcome to Assetto Corsa EVO. I feel like I'm in some sort of epic setting or something, despite only being in a warehouse with a Fiat 500. But the music initially on this game is really cool and really, I think with the build-up of how anticipated this game has been, this music is like, I don't know, it's captured the moment beautifully. But Assetto Corsa EVO is now in early access, and thankfully, as working for GT Planet, we've had an early access code, and Jordan and Andrew have delegated me to be the one to drive it first. I'm going to be recording this as opposed to streaming it though, just in case there's any technical issues or whatever, because it's a brand new game, you never know, and I, out of the three of us, am the biggest skeptic. So, what do we do first, you reckon? I mean, you've got to drive something. We'll go straight to single player, and I'm just going to drive for the sake of driving. I do have the wheel here in front of me, the Thrustmaster TGT2 with its standard pedals. I'm going to be using that today. Let's just go to practice. Wow, this is a weird menu to get used to. I thought these were different game modes for a second there. So you've got what mode you're in, and then what circuit you're on. I don't want to go to Bathurst to begin with. These are your circuits: Brands Hatch, GP and Indy, Imola, GP, Laguna Seca. It interestingly tells you how many pit boxes there are next to each one, which I find quite odd to see that straight off the bat. And Suzuka, GP as well. And the West layout. I love the West layout at Suzuka, so you know what? We're going to drive something there. I don't want to go in near Bath, but of course, the first thing... Oh, rentals is interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder whether you rent certain things. Garages for like your customised cars, and then, yeah, rentals is for stuff that's standard. Okay. Now, I've noticed something already here that's really interesting. So, they've obviously, one of the things they've committed to us is the fact that they're going to have specifications as if they're from the manufacturer, for example. Now, if you look at these Honda S2000s here, the AP1s, you've got single-tone leather interior, dual-tone leather interior, special edition Suzuka Blue, so there's different specs of each car. I must say, though, the models that you see here don't look fantastic. They look a weird bit matte. They do have Hyundai i30Ns. This is the Drive N Limited Edition. Good friend of the channel, Tom Brooks, had one of these, and I borrowed it for a bit. And it is an awesome bit of kit, so I might drive this first. Will it sort of show me around the car? There she is. Oh, okay, so this is... Right. So this is interactive, this menu. So you right-click to sort of move around that way, and then you click and hold to move this way. The anti-aliasing is doing some weird stuff at the minute. I may change that. Look at the movement here. And the reflections. Still, I mean, the model for this is pretty phenomenal. The reflections are gorgeous. That's one thing I will point out. The reflections are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, that's something that Assetto Corsa has always done. The textures look really good. The black is a little bit flat on those wheels, but maybe I'm just being a little bit picky. This is the Hyundai i30N. Can you customize it? No, not at the moment. You can do car controls, I imagine. Yeah, you can do the usual things like your hazards. You can put your flash on. Rain? Maybe that's if you're outside. Start the car. You can change the steering angle, similar to what you could do in the original Assetto Corsa. We can also have distraction lights. Distraction lights. Oh, he means indicators, everybody. He means indicators. And rain, it means rain light, doesn't it? That's like fog lights as such. That's cool. Reverse and brake lights. Big fan of that. Look at the detail. Look at the detail here. I'm not sure what's going on with that movement, but look at the brake light there. That's really cool. What about the interior in this thing? They've got the right interior and stuff as well. I can tell you those seats are phenomenal. Okay, so you choose it. Do you then click it? Yeah, so you click that. Drive N Limited Edition. Yep, so there's the different versions of it. Yeah, back. Oh, okay, so then you go into it and then click confirm, maybe? No? Then back? Back? That's weird. You would have thought that you'd choose a car and then click OK or something, and that'd be it, and you're in the car. Still, have a look at the weather settings. You've got scattered clouds, broken clouds. I like that it shows you on the sliders how to sort of recreate these or recreate. So it shows you what is changing. Rain and heavy rain. Let's go scattered cloud. There's a broken cloud, so we'll have a nice bit of it. It is weird though. I'm finding it strange that you have to click back. It's behind my head, so it's just here. I'll move me out of the way. But there's the back button down here. Now, I would have expected a button over here to click OK and confirm it, but you click that and then go back. I don't know if anyone's the same as me, but I feel that that would be... It wouldn't save whatever I've chosen, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense anyway. Assist, beginner, come on. This is me. Pro, auto ignition, yeah. Gearbox, yeah. Automatic clutch. This car's got a flappy paddle gearbox. We won't have stability control on because I want to see what the physics are like. Let's click and start session. I'm intrigued by the load times as well, because the load times in Assetto Corsa originally were iffy. We'll see. That was only a matter of seconds. Ooh, please render textures in properly. What was that about then? Did you see that? The textures weren't very good on the side of the car. Oh no, they've rendered in eventually. It was just a first time thing. I do want to mess with the anti-aliasing though. Yeah, at 16:9. VSync, let's get that on. Excuse me. You have to drag that. Oh, I don't like that. Why can't I just click it? Oh, you can. You can click either side. I just expect to just click it and it be on. Graphics. Yes, that was quite a nice noise. I'm just speaking out loud here as I go through this. Graphics preset is on custom. FXAA. I usually have temporal anti-aliasing on stuff whenever I do any of it. But we would like some FXAA, I think. There's multi-sampling anti-aliasing. We could turn that off. Filmic. Let's try that. Oh, it's frozen. I like that noise. That gives me good confidence. Oh no, that's not pretty. Okay, this is fine though. This is the thing when you first play a game. I've not even launched this, come back out of it, then gone back into it for you guys. This is just me straight into the game. So let's try FXAA. I'm just looking at this line of these headlights here, see if that changes it. That's much better. Much smoother. There we go. It's better. Sharp edges like that, not so brilliant. Anyway, I should maybe think about the controls, really, shouldn't I? So steer left, yeah, steering, yeah, we've got nothing. It's got nothing. By the look of it, there is no... Oh, there you go. Thrustmaster TG... Okay. Yep. See, that isn't very clear. This is one thing I've always said about Assetto Corsa, and Assetto Corsa Competizione in particular as well, is that it doesn't make it very, very clear. Now look, what do I do now if I want to change that? If I want to click it again? Handbrake? I'll put a handbrake button on. Never mind. No, I won't. Why is there like two of everything? Paddle gear up. Paddle gear down. Yep. Let's go through these. What about light cycle 1? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just have up on there. Actually, no, we won't. We'll do this button. Oh, light stage 1. Wow, God, there's loads. Yeah, okay. The frame rate of this menu is very poor when you're trying to scroll with your mouse wheel. Left indicator and right indicator? Yeah, stuff it. We'll have them. Hazard lights? Nah. Ignition and starter. I tend to do this button and then this button. Pit limiter will be circle. Traction control, be re. There's a lot of stuff you can have, but this just... The speed of this scrolling is, and the refresh rate of it is not pretty. I am a big skeptic, I'm so sorry. I just want to go through all of this and just check. Engine map, brake bias, ESCs, performance mode. That's cool. Display device. God, there's so much. Special light, wipers. Oh my God, there's loads. Okay, so we can apply that. It thinks I've got a T500 RS gear shifter. I definitely do not. There's camera settings and all sorts. Steering lock. Let's go for 900 degrees. FFB gain. I'm gonna... No, they'll keep it on 90. See what it gives me. Okay. I'll do some driving now. I'll do some drive... Whoa. Okay, so you've got human hands with no gloves on. That's intriguing. It's a very Assetto Corsa Competizione... Oh. Now, I know the frame rate's good because if you look at the dial there on the dash, it's very, very smooth. But look at the actual rev counter. I don't like how not smooth that is. Can we change camera views and stuff? Okay, page up and page down does that. Is it like the old one where, yeah, you press F1 for... Sorry, I'm a humongous fan of the i30, and it's if I could have any road car right now, it'd be one of those. I love it. Interesting that you've got human hands though, as opposed to hands that are like in gloves, despite being in a road car. Right, let's go nice and slow. Ooh. Yes, that gear change, that sort of noise. Not sure on that. Just trying to get a feel for the feedback. Obviously, with it being a road car, I'm intrigued to see whether the What was that all about then? Do you see that? Sudden change in the weather. I don't like the human hands on the wheel. I thought it was cool at first, but I don't like it. He does flick the paddles though. Let me just get in a straight line here, look. Watch on the downshift. There, does flick the paddles, that's quite cool. There's a lot of games still these days don't do that. There was noise reflecting there underneath the bridge. Just taking it easy into the hairpin. The sound deadening from the inside is weird because if you listen to these backfires now, it's like they're happening in the back seat right behind you, but then so many other effects like that when it changes gear sound like they are really deep down in the car and it's being deadened. It's very strange. Seems like they've tried to have a lot of, you know, sound deadening go on and be clever with it. The force feedback is very light, very light. I think I've got it set to 50% the normal strength in Windows, so maybe I'll turn it up a little bit. I do love an i30N though. I like the counter in the top left, it's nice and subtle. It's not too in your face. If I had to say anything about it though, I think that the boxes that surround them are a bit too big for the information they give. Not getting much feel at the moment. What is that frame rate about there? I mean, I was deep into there because I'm just a rubbish driver, but there was a humongous stutter of frame rate there. I wonder whether that's buildings and stuff. I'm intrigued to see whether we should maybe mess with the graphics settings a bit more and sort those out. Let's put some proper lock on. Tyre noises are loud. However, I can tell you that the way that felt when it was spinning was really good, because in a lot of racing games when you spin, the way that the car goes around is very sort of unnatural, so it was nice to sort of feel like it was properly out of control. I will be turning my wheel settings up a bit more. If I had this game all to myself, I'd just be driving this all the time. You can feel that it wants to break away on the brakes though, which is good. It's just that I need to turn my force feedback up, definitely. It's a big slide there. Okay. Oh, that took its time to come back in. Let's go to the main menu. Oh, I didn't like that. Let's go back. We'll mess with the graphics settings again because it seems to be struggling a little bit. It's weird. My PC does alright usually. It's on an RTX 2070, which is the recommended graphics card for it. I wonder if we have not very low. Let's just put everything on high and see what it says. Okay. Even then, the anti-aliasing. Look at these sharp edges and stuff. It's not the prettiest, is it? Not the prettiest. It's pretty because it's sharp, but it's those edges that are letting it down, I think. I wonder whether we put the sampling anti-aliasing on, whether it's anything to do with that. I do want to go for 60 FPS. We've got VSync on. At the end of the day, I'm only recording in 60 FPS. My monitors can do 120. Multi-sample anti-aliasing. To be fair, that's gone back up. FXAA. Okay, we'll leave it like that for now. It's fine. It's fine. We know that it can be ridiculously pretty. I'm intrigued by the audio settings. Okay, so parts, tyres, tyre noises I'm going to turn down. Wind and slipstream I'm going to turn down. Bodywork and everything else. The engine stuff is interesting though, because like I say, it sounded like some of the backfires and things were like right behind me in the back seat, but yet they were deadened underneath. Let's drive something else though, and I will, just bear with me, I'm just going to turn my force feedback settings up in Windows. I'm intrigued now to see whether doing that has actually had any effect on whether the wheel will work, because in a lot of games before, if you change any feedback settings or anything to do with the wheel while you're still in the game, it then will give you nothing at all. I mean, it's not giving me any force feedback now, so we'll see. We'll go to the same circuit again though, and we'll keep it a controlled environment and go for a different car, shall we? We didn't go down the list really. We've got the Golf GTI 8 Club Sport. Am I looking at only a certain type of car here? It did say that there was going to be more cars. Can't go for rentals. Didn't it say there was going to be Ferraris and all sorts, or is it just these lot that we're getting? Weird how you click back and it goes to the i30. It's odd. Game mode practice, we can have a quick race. I mean, we'll give it a go in a minute. I just want to try and practice in something else. I mean, who doesn't want an S2000? Let's go for a single-tone leather interior. It'll be the most underappreciated one of the lot. There she is. What about the colours? Can you change the colour? Can't click customise, so I think that's just as it is. But again, it's lovely with all these reflections and stuff, and the way they've done the detail in the light in there is really good. But it's just that anti-aliasing that's letting it down a little bit, isn't it? Again, this is another car that Tom Brooks has had, actually, funnily enough. We can have scene options. Okay, change the... Ooh. Ooh, those shadows. Ooh. Interesting. So it's put us outside now. And yeah, the anti-aliasing looks a lot better now because it's in more direct light. Just the cars, I don't know. They seem to have this matte effect on them, and the inside of headlights and things seem to glow a little bit. I find that a bit weird. You can change all sorts in here though. Look, you can put it into broken clouds. That makes it look a bit shinier, which is good. I do like this music though. Really cool. Really, really cool. And it's great that you get so much detail out of all of them as well, though. I mean, you know, the interiors and everything are so well done in Assetto Corsa, and they always have been. You can always get third-party mods and stuff later down the line that will probably not be as done as well. Words, Chaz? English? Anyway, let's drive the S2000, shall we? It does suffer from something that other games do have as well, that when they've got a blurred background, the edge of the sharp object to the front sort of lets out a weird little glow around it. I like my photography. The f-stop and the aperture on that camera, considering how wide angle it is way too low anyway. Still, I won't moan. Let's look at the vehicle setup options then. It takes a second to load in and give you everything. There's not anything we can do with electronic suspension dampers or anything at the moment. You can change the tyre compounds, which is interestingly in fuel and strategy. Okay. Aero. Change the ride heights for now. Obviously, it's very minimal stuff because it's just a road car at this point. Why is it floating? Why is it not on the ground? I hope it doesn't do that thing that they do in Assetto Corsa Competizione where it floats above the ground and then when you're done settling up it smacks on the floor. Still, sorry, I sound right miserable, don't I? Now it's spawned me in and I'm rolling backwards here until I brake. Oh yeah. There is... sounds aren't... Sorry. Well, that's not fantastic, is it? I can't do anything. I'm pressing escape. It's not doing anything. That's surely got to be the top speed that anyone's done so far in the game. Wow. The frame rate is gone to death. Very interesting. See if I can click this at the right point to actually get it to restart the session. The frame rate is dire at the minute. Wow. How strange. We might have to quit and come back out here unless I'm just going to have to frantically click. Whoa. I think I've finally clicked restart session at the right point. You hear that noise? That's the car travelling at supersonic speed down. Okay, let's try and quit. I'm just frantically clicking, just hoping that I hit it at the right frame. That was a severe, severe crash. Oh, did you see the background scene then? I mean, this is gone. This is fine again. But for a minute there, I mean, the menu is broken in the background. Do we dare try and drive again? Let's just try and start the session. Just try and reload it. Get it back in. Okay, the visuals are gone. I've got no visuals. I've got the UI. You can hear it's changing angle, camera angle, but nothing. Okay. That's not a good sign, is it? But this is why things go into early access, because they need people to give feedback on stuff. They need people to help him improve it. I don't know if anyone else has had that issue yet, but wow. Okay. I'm going to quit and then restart the game. Also, just to add, when you relaunch the game, this music as a sort of build-up, when it's just showing you all the usual disclaimers and stuff, is really cool. Like I said, loading back into this for the first time, or loading into it for the first time, with the fact that it's been so anticipated. It's just brilliant. So there's a second early access, so that's when we get the other cars. This says 20 cars, you see. I definitely didn't have 20 cars, did I? I wonder. Because that's only 15. I'm sure it said you had the Ferrari 296. You can go to dealership though, and then obviously customize vehicle. The academy, you can do licenses. License tests will be quite interesting in the game at a later stage, I imagine. You get your driver profile, you can put your first name in and so on. It'll just say undefined and all that. I wonder if that's got something to do with the car, because I noticed, I just had a look back at that previous clip of when I went through the floor at minus 2.1 billion kilometers an hour. I'm going to put Jordan Greer in because it's the GT Planet account that I'm on. Pickleball champion. Oh, I don't know Jordan's middle name. Stuff at JGR. I don't know how old Jordan is. He's 21. Gallery, you can obviously take screenshots and you get your replays as well, which is really cool. I'm intrigued by the photography side of it because, like I just said before, I've done photography before. I really enjoy it. Special events, what's that going to be? Ooh, nothing at the minute. I wonder whether that's going to be like endurance events, preset races, things like that. Let's go single player and let's try and get the S2000 to work again, shall we? We're going to go for the same one, like I said before, control environment. I just find that weird. You have to press back twice. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's do this. See if we can get a second session working. We have music. It's a positive sign. Better than no sound and, like I say, doing minus 2.4 billion. Okay, now I realised what I did last time was obviously not put the clutch in to set off. Please don't fall through the floor again. I'm so scared. I'm really scared to put my foot down. I mean, it's an S2000, it's going to sound fantastic. However, as I was going to say before, I don't think the sounds are that brilliant. They sound like... What was that? Why did it suddenly get louder? I think that was it echoing off the... Oh yeah, you need to use your clutch with this. I think that was it echoing off the wall just earlier, but I think the sounds sound like they've been put in by like a third-party mod. There's like a slight digital crackle to them, as if they've not been put in right. Force feedback isn't necessarily heavy. I didn't feel... Whoa, that was loud. I didn't feel anything then when it was doing that. That was very, very light, and I've got the force feedback turned up to 90 in the game and 75 in Windows, so... But, like, it's really, really easy to hold on to. It's very light. Feels good, though, in terms of, you know, what the car feeds back to you, like, in terms of relative movement on the screen to what goes through your hands. Again, it's just... I don't think anyone will ever get plastics right, like the sort of leather and plastic that we've got on that wheel there. It just looks so flat. I was talking to Jordan about this a while ago on Gran Turismo 7, that, you know, the plastics of a dashboard and leather dashboards, flocked dashboards, all sorts, when you have them in direct sunlight in any game or any sim, they will never look spot on. At least it's running smoothly now, though. I do wish that we could sort the anti-aliasing out a little bit better. I think that when I go over that bit of 130R there, the sound is reflecting from underneath, because we go over the bridge, don't we? See, I overcompensated for that then. Okay. Interesting that you get the tyre temperatures displayed in such a colourful way. This car does sound good though. Good as in, you know, an S2000 revs high, but it's got this weird digitally sort of undertone that I'm not a huge fan of. He said I was going the wrong way then, instead of just that I'd cut the track. I am just blipping the throttle, so I don't have to use the clutch. We'll finish this lap and we'll bring it into the pits, see what it does that way. At the moment though, and this is with everything on high, I'm not too impressed with my own driving. But also how it looks. It's not as sort of groundbreakingly pretty as I thought it would be. It's really not pretty. If you put this side by side with Gran Turismo 7, I mean, I know you're all going to think I'm biased because I work for GT Planet saying that, but genuinely, I was hoping this would come and blow everything out of the water. We're on a pit lane limiter. Let's park it, shall we? Oh, so pit stop is just... I'm pressing F2 here to have a look around. You can drag the camera by left-clicking. Yeah, pit stop is just that. Oh, there is a tiny... Oh, I didn't see that little yellow box there that I was supposed to stop in. You can't rev or do anything while it's doing that. Okay, we'll nip out and we'll see whether we can do something like a race instead. Okay, let's go to quick race. We'll do 3 laps and we'll do, yeah, 6 on the grid. Number of opponents, 9. Opponent skill, 90. Yeah, we'll leave it like this. Single make on. I just still find it weird how you have to press back on everything. Are there certain cars that weren't available before? No. What car do we race? We've driven the i30N. I don't really want to drive a Golf. Let's go in the Escort RS Cosworth. What a wagon. As you'll have all seen if you watched the most recent podcast on GT Planet, or the podcastant as we call it, this was one of my favourite cars of the year on Gran Turismo 7. I really don't like those reflections. Anti-aliasing is the main issue at the moment, isn't it? That's the main visual issue. Looks a bit flat otherwise as well. Like, even there, look how matte the cars look in the images. Very strange. Okay, we'll do Brands Hatch. Yeah, let's do Brands Hatch GP. We've got Imola, Mount Panorama to play with as well, but I was trying to scroll then and it wasn't doing anything. Let's go. Let's give it a go in the Escort RS Cosworth at Brands. Okay, we load in. We've got Henry Dubois, Nathan Crawford, Joel Gomez, Diego Ramirez, Connor Phillips, Christopher Hayes, Alessandro Marino, Andrew Wallace and Justin Crawford. That's just me being a commentator for you. I don't want to mess with any settings or anything else at this moment in time. Track is green, it says waiting for players. Oh, I don't like the look of that. There's no sound to go with it. Let's see what the AI are like. They've got the usual radar just up there. Frame rate dropped a lot there. I think the side-to-side echo of the other sounds is exaggerated a lot. Because all of a sudden it sounds very different to how it sounded on the line. Now I know I'm doing this on flappy paddles when I'm in a car where I should really use a gear shifter. Cars behind me have disappeared off my rear view mirrors, which also have a frame rate of about 3. Why did it sound like he was in 5th gear then? Now it says that the other car was 1.7 seconds behind me, but then they've gone. Feedback's a bit heavier in this car, which is good. I did wonder whether it was down to sort of power steering or anything. Good news for those of you on flappy paddles as well like this, that you can just blip in the default settings and you don't have to worry about the clutch as long as you just stab it on the throttle. Curb sounds seem a little bit predetermined. Oh god, sorry gearbox. Like they're always, it's always a little like a rumble rather than a do-do-do-do. I know this is early access though, so I'm probably being a little bit harsh, but it's not blowing me away. Now listen to that. I mean, I've got the windows up in the car. I assume so anyway. The actual driving feels great, you know, the feedback is really smooth, it's not over the top. Just on the default settings for this wheel, it feels alright. It gives me a bit of feedback here and there. I can feel when I'm going over curbs and stuff, but it's not trying to break my wrists. Obviously I'm not on the strongest wheel in the world, but you know, I've used this wheel before on GT7 and it's tried to flip my desk over. I was hoping it'd kick out a little bit more than that. Let's go through the lights. So you can put it on with full beams and then just side lights and then nothing. Only one thing lights up to tell you you've got an indicator on, not which one. That's understeer, that is. Yes. Okay. One thing I have always liked about Assetto Corsa is that gravel traps stop you, as they should. They really stop you. Look, if I go off here, I did brake a bit, but look, you just can't get going. My main tipple is iRacing. It's where I started my sim racing and my commentary career, and on iRacing it's like the gravel traps speed you up. Until only about, I think it was a few months ago, that front left, the outside of that front left tyre is being injured. Not a fan of that. That sound reflection is way too aggressive, especially considering that I've probably got the windows closed. I noticed for a second there at the top on the graphics that when the white flag came up, it was a checkered flag for a second. Frame rate is tolerable, but it's not... Oh god. Yeah, I deserve a telling off for that. The frame rate is not ideal. There's a lot of objects and things rendered in. There's a lot of crowds and people, and, well, they're the same thing. Flags and, you know, tents and trucks and things all over the place. Don't know if that's something that's hurting it or not, but yeah, it doesn't look the smoothest right now to me. But it has bursts of it. Like every so often it'll go from being really janky to then suddenly really smooth. Like old PlayStation 2 games used to have seemingly variable frame rates, and it would affect your gameplay because all of a sudden you go from feeling like you're not going very fast to, you know, doing double the speed. I know I've got it set to 60 Hz, but I'm wondering whether I give it another little run and see whether if I up it, whether it's just down to my monitor, because obviously these monitors are 120 Hz. I know it will look janky to me, but even from what I can see the preview of the recording on the left, it looks janky there as well. Above all else, it's very loud. Wonder whether I need to turn the force feedback up a bit, because it feels lazy. Okay, so you drive after the flag, or blow the engine up after the flag. It says box within 8 minutes. So you can have your slow down lap. I wonder why it does that when I slam on, or slam the throttle down. Is that like a backfire noise? Because I'm suddenly ejecting all the fuel? I don't know. Very strange. Okay. Oh, we've got a little U1 screen. What's this supposed to be telling us? Will this be the results? Then it goes back to the replay. It looks pretty from there, but again, the aperture's a little bit low on the camera. I'm so picky, I'm so sorry. It looks good from here. Again, though, it's just the anti-aliasing of the... Yeah, you get that glow. That's a cool race to have, though, isn't it? That many Escort RS Cosworths together. Yeah, look at the change in frame rate. Okay, I wonder whether I can change the graphics from here. No, that's not what I wanted, is it? Let's see. Is it on display? Yeah. Let's go for 120. Will you give me 120, game? That's the question. Or will you just crash? No, it's not down to the... No, it's just simply down to the fact that it's intensive on a graphics card like mine. Let's try turning some stuff down and play with it a bit, shall we? Just so you know what certain settings look like. Can we go to medium? We'll apply medium. Sorry, it sounds awful. Wow, it's taking its time. I'm intrigued by multiple cars on screen. The music's a weird one as well. It's almost like they're trying to sort of follow Gran Turismo-y music. Let's go back. It's smooth when there's only one car on screen, but then other times, as soon as there's a lot of objects, the frame rate really does fall out of its own backside. It's great in here, of course, because this is a, you know, a preset environment with just one car in it. It's not blowing me away, I won't lie. I'm intrigued to see what Jordan and Andrew's opinions will be on it as well. I think they're going to be doing a podcast together. I don't think I'm going to be available at the same time as them. What else do we go in? Do we just try one of the other cars? Let's go in the 6x5 Biposto, or Biposto, whatever you want to call it. Can't customize it at the moment. It's just literally these that we get. My least favourite thing is that you have to click back like that. It's just so weird. We'll go to Laguna Seca. No, that's sacrilege, isn't it? Come on, it's Assetto Corsa. It's an Italian game. Let's go to Imola. And we'll go in the rain. See what it's like in a front-wheel drive Fiat in the rain with no traction control, shall we? Okay, so while everything loads in, I can tell you the rain sounds pretty. We've got other people on track with us. But again, look, the frame rate of those wipers, the frame rate of all of it is poor. I hope it looks smoother in the video. I don't like this. All I'm doing is moaning, I know, but it's too loud. Oh no. You know what I've done here, don't you? I've not mapped wipers. I didn't map anything but windscreen wipers. Or did I? Normally I'd press it to this button. No. Can you pause partway through? Okay, cool, you can. That's interesting. You can pause literally right in the middle of the race. I wonder if I can now... Let's go to Thrustmaster TGT wheel. Where are my wipers? God, it looks like you're scrolling really quickly, but you're not. You can grab that bar on the right, but that then moves like too quickly. The refresh rate of a lot of it is very, very low. Cockpit light, special stage, wiper, cycle. This. Apply. I like that noise though. At least I like something. Are we going to carry on? Yes. Okay. Initial impressions are that it feels busy in the rain, so there's a lot of it. Well, surely the wipers can calm down a little bit. The way it pushes the water out of the way looks brilliant as well. That's really cool. And this is just normal rain as well. This isn't heavy rain. I like the fact that it runs around, the physics affect it. If we weave a little bit, does it move left and right? Doesn't look like it. It just sort of goes straight on the windscreen rather than moving around. This car is very loud with the windows open. Again, I think because it's a road car, there's not a huge amount of feeling in the steering wheel. And it doesn't feel like I'm on a wet track. It feels like I'm just on a dry track and can put the car where I want, really. And whether that's just because it's on road tyres and it's obviously not the fastest thing in the world. I do not think that the spray... Oh, hello. I've been playing a bit of F1 Challenge and it's a lot... it's a lot shallower as a chicane in the old days. That spray particle effect, the way it clips through the ground, not fantastic. It lingers in the air a bit more though, which is good. You know, the spray actually stays up in the air and hits the car, but it doesn't feel like it's having a direct effect on me. I've got my mouse right in the middle of the screen. Driving wise, again, it's not blowing me away. Feels a little bit lazy, but it's just the frame rate. The frame rate, I think, is affecting... I can't hear myself think. That's hot. That's... yeah. The AI seem a little bit hesitant to try anything on you. I think if it wasn't for the effect of the audio echoing being so obnoxiously loud, and you could hear more of the background noise, like the backfires and a bit more tyre noise, then it'd be great. But it's just, it's also strangely balanced on default. You definitely have to do a bit of tweaking and play around with it. I mean, it's perfectly acceptable, but it's just, I don't know. It's really not blowing me away. I think that, like many, third-party content is what made Assetto Corsa, the original, so fantastic. You know, that's what's really brought the full potential out in it. I hope that this isn't a case of them just releasing a game in the end that needs that to be good. You know what I mean? You can tell that it's a fine-tuned version of, you know, the products that we already have. But I just don't feel like this is as groundbreaking as people hoped it would be. Now, I've been a skeptic all along, as a lot of you have known, feeling a little bit smug right now. I came into it wanting to like it, wanting to be surprised and blown away, but I'm just not. I'm just really not, I'm afraid. The refresh rate of a lot of stuff seems very low. The rain looks great. I love that effect of the water being washed away by the wipers. That's just about the only bit of the rain that I do like. I'm also intrigued as to where these other cars are. Like, where are the other 5 cars that they talk about? Do I have to do something in particular to unlock those? Or what? You can see the influence of Assetto Corsa Competizione's little UI in the bottom right, where the traction control, the fuel and everything is. It's a tidier version, I think. I quite like the look of that. Oh god, turn Chaz. Yeah, in it. It's definitely off the track there. There's no feel that I'm on a wet track here. it's understeery because it's a Fiat 500. That's what my brain is telling me. But it doesn't feel like you're at threat of spinning or, you know, having a bad time. It's going to be a run to the line with Andrew Wallace. I think I'm just in front. I did it. I won by 30 thousandths of a second. Yeah, it may seem like I'm being a bit brutal on it, but I mean, when everybody's been so hyped and built up for a game of this stature, this long, excuse me, it just isn't groundbreaking. It's not. I don't see it at this point as any better than what we've already got with Assetto Corsa. It's like Microsoft Flight Simulator. The Flight Sim 2020 has been out for a while now, hence the name. I do a lot of flying on that. 2024's come out. There's no need for me to go from one to the other because the experience on the one I've got already is good enough. And that's how I feel about this. To make a weird comparison. We got our weird little I1 screen. Again, look at that. Let's have a look at the replay settings. It's very bare. You'd expect to have some sort of controls or something along here, wouldn't you? Don't get me wrong, with the reflections and the lighting, it's pretty. And the depth of field and all that. I don't think that frame rate is excusable. You know, my PC isn't struggling. I can see on the recording that it's getting 60 FPS out of the recording. It's just the game itself. It's like it catches up in the end and then it goes a little bit smoother again when you sat here, but it's like it has to render a scene and sort of have it all figured out for a second before it can then deliver you the frame rate. And obviously when you're in a game with a lot of moving things about and you're in a vehicle that's moving, it's not going to get much chance to do that. So, yeah, hoping there's some more optimization on the horizon. But yeah, that's my first look here and first hour or so on Assetto Corsa EVO. I'm not convinced yet, I'd say that much. There's a few bits that, I mean, it's early access at the end of the day, so there's always going to be stuff that, you know, isn't perfect and is still getting figured out. But yeah, I am definitely not convinced at this stage. Like I say, the old product has so much good stuff to play with that there wouldn't be any point coming forward to this version or coming to the new game if this is how it stays. Obviously, it's his early access, the very first few hours of early access. A lot will change between now and when this game comes around to its full release. It's got potential, but at this point it is not groundbreaking in any shape or form for me. So we'll see what Jordan and Andrew think of it as well. Obviously they'll be having their thoughts on it, they'll be having a play with the game too, so don't just take it from me that this is the entire thoughts of GT Planet. They may love it, so yeah, just keep your minds open to it. I've tried to. I can promise you that. I know I said I've been a skeptic and I was always going to come into this slightly skeptical, but I've tried to be surprised by it and be pleasantly surprised by it, and it just hasn't quite captured me yet. But I've got access to it. I can play with it a little bit. We'll see. We'll see if that changes in time. But as always, here on GT Planet, thank you very much for watching. Keep your eye out for future videos regarding Assetto Corsa EVO. There should be a podcast as well with at least Andrew and Jordan on it, so hopefully that'll be good fun as well. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that wonderful stuff, and we'll see you again very, very soon.